Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, it is I am the one and only Luigi here, and I am back for the likes of the Mexi Toys videos, as you probably expect at this point in time. So ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for some more of Let's Play of Luigi's Mansion for the Nintendo GameCube / Nintendo 3DS, while we playing through the Hidden Mansion mode. So, last time, we've essentially did manage to completely done everything in Area 1, like as a result, we did somehow manage to able to capture some of these, portrait ghosts yet again, and on top of that, that could be also applied for certain ghosts, and especially noticeable with certain speedy spirits, and of course the gold mice. So because of that, hopefully we should be able to actually guarantee to get every single blue diamonds, as far as I'm usually concerned with, according to what the forms of certain collectibles are known as, because I almost assume about the fact that those specific diamonds, as we've somehow obtained, during the forms of in Area 1 was supposed to be grey, but as it turns out it was actually blue, because, well, I just have no words to think about it. So, anyways though, so today for this video is about the fact that we'll be able to actually continue things on during the forms of the Hidden Mansion mode, and now we're going to be entering onto Area 2. Now I feel like Area 2 and onwards, this is where the game starts to get a little bit more difficult. Mainly because of multiple factors, because obviously if you couldn't tell, we're going back into the bathroom in Area 2, so that means it's going to be filled to the brim with all these strangler type ghosts, which honestly those guys are a bit of a pain to deal with, especially noticeable with these red incarnations, and especially noticeable with the invisible ones as well. And don't even get me started on it during the forms of the later portion of the game, that I feel like that the Hidden Mansion mode is so obsessed with the forms of those specific ghosts like this, because obviously if you get strangled so many times, that not only you lose your bounty of health, but also about the fact that you lose some of your coins. But then again, you don't need to worry about losing your money notes, and especially noticeable with gold bars, because obviously you kept them from good. But if you manage to get hit, obviously you lose some bit of coins, and then you have to be quick about it, because otherwise they will attempt to disappear after a few seconds notice. So because of that, yeah, it feels a bit of a pain though if you try to deal with them that way. But regardless of such though, it's about the fact that luckily though, that we still managed able to get ourselves certain diamonds, especially concerning for the fact that like I said before, that we will definitely gonna get ourselves our glorious fantastic A rank for sure. Although mind you, until when it gets to the point until Luigi's Mansion 3 came around, that basically it does manage to feature the actual the returning feature from the likes of in the first game, at least depending on how many gold you've got. So, but even though that's saying something, I suppose. But then again, we'll save that particular topic until 2025. So, anyways though, yeah, relatively speaking, I was about the fact that today's date, of course, is the 24th of October today, in some cases in 2023 today. Next week is going to be Halloween, so because of that, yeah, I'm a little bit more skeptical when it comes to able to experiencing spooky themes related, because much like Fluttershy, that's between me and Fluttershy, we are both scared of scary things, like ghosts and all that stuff. I can see why that since I'm Luigi after all, and as a result, I am entirely related to Fluttershy sometimes, mainly because of the fear state, so, which you probably get the idea about the forms of certain brony community, as far as you can definitely tell from the sake of time. So, anyways though, so yeah, let's keep on talking about the forms of some differences between the forms of specifically the PAL version of the Hidden Mansion mode compared to the forms of how it does it on the NTSC counterpart of this particular mode, ranging from the American version and the Japanese version, respectively. Likely also for the fact that I've already mentioned about the forms of certain boss encounters, specifically Shunsei, he's actually a lot more difficult to deal with. And on top of all that stuff, though, is about the fact that, well, there's also another boss coming up that it will able to actually give you a lot of trial and error, especially because there is actually this very, very strange mechanic that we'll have to deal with until when it gets to the point until in Area 3. So because of that, yeah, we'll save that particular topic once we get to possibly this coming Friday, if depending on the forms of the time schedule. So because of that, yeah, it looks like we're not doing too bad when it comes to able to obtaining certain pearls and all that stuff, especially because, well, relatively speaking though, if you really want to get the best results out of it though, obviously we can able to actually realistically try to able to get the insane amount of gold as much as we can, so hopefully that should do the trick, especially concerning for the fact that, like I said before, that if I was expecting to do a full 100% playthrough of Luigi's Mansion for the GameCube version, most likely, that I will definitely try to able to actually guarantee to get the last 4 gold frames for certain portrait ghosts. Like, I believe we're missing 3 of them from Area 3, and only 1 of them left for Area 4, so hopefully we will be able to miraculously try to able to achieve that accomplishment. So, there's a speedy spirit right there, in case if you're curious, and now we're on to 4 blue diamonds. So yeah, that's actually super top notch and everything, so oh god, the actual room like this is going to be filled to the brim with certain ghosts that it kind of feels a bit of a pain to deal with, but as you can tell that I've now started able to heal up my health, as you can tell, and in order to do that, you need to able to actually do double suction for not 1, but 2 ghosts in 1 suction. So because of that, if you only do 1, the hearts will not respawn. So because of that, you have to specifically try to able to put up with 2 ghosts in 1 suction. So yeah, I just want to classify that right from the start, because obviously that yeah, that was the only method you can able to actually just replenish your health if you decide to do it this way. So, even though sometimes it can be pretty tricky at times, depending on what ghost types you're about to deal with. So, anyways though, so after we're done with this particular room, obviously we still need to able to activate not 1 but 2 button switches so we can able to activate the booze in the forms of the Hidden Mansion mode. So speaking of the amount of booze in the forms of this particular mode, if you can tell, not only does it able to actually behave a lot more differently this time, but it's also about the fact that in order able to actually access the final boss against with King Boo, well, like I said before, it's about the fact that in the normal mansion playthrough, they only need 40 of them, whilst compared to the Hidden Mansion mode, you do need 5 more, which means it makes it a grand total of 45. So, yeah, that does seem quite a lot, potentially speaking. So, seriously, that banana peels is always so annoying. But, hopefully, if my particular R button doesn't seem to like me as much, come on, Wave Bird, trust me on this! Well, mind you, I'm currently using the Wave Bird controller because I just love that particular controller so much, just because I can feel a little bit more comfortable to able to actually utilize that particular controller in mind. So, despite, you know, it's actually ridiculously pricey these days, every now and then, so of course now the actual room extends, so that means we can now able to find the another button switch, just in case the booze will decide to come out once again. So yeah, not much explanations for the sake of time, so of course 50 more boos, including King Boo himself, will eventually decide to able to come up. Although, like I said before, the actual dialogue text box remains the same, so because of that, yeah, it's very similar. What the heck is up with that Boo? It's still appearing. But luckily, though, they did somehow manage to go into a different room elsewhere, so anyways, though, so yeah, let's talk about the forms of some major differences when it comes to the PAL version of the Hidden Mansion, like usually between the European version and the Australian versions, respectively, because obviously the European version and the Australian releases for certain GameCube games, obviously they pretty much stuck in PAL format. So, for instance, about the fact that in the PAL Hidden Mansion, like I said before, is entirely mirrored from left to right when compared to the normal mansion, and the NTSC version kept the layout the same, and as soon as we get the forms of the artist studio, well, I suppose we should probably save that particular topic once we get to Area 4. And on top of that is about the fact that when it comes to the boost system, well, as you can tell, that we've once again managed able to upgrade our Boo radar, so we can pretty much guarantee we can able to actually find them. However, in order able to find these boos this time around though, they're a little bit harder to find this time. So because of that, hopefully we need to able to actually just keep on searching around all over the rooms and stuff like that. So yeah, you still need to able to rely on the boo radar just in case if you're closer to one. So yeah, you get the idea about this. So anyways though, speaking of the boos though, is that boos are unusually or usually more attackable and also a lot difficult to catch, mainly because they now got most of the health, and on top of that, some of them remains the same, but usually relatively speaking it was about the fact that one of those boos in particular with less health now start able to actually move a lot faster. So because of that, the worst example of this though, and it's possibly one of the hardest boos to catch, was actually until when it gets to the point until in Area 3, that my god, whenever I managed able to try to do a practice run of the Hidden Mansion mode, my god, one of those boos just somehow got away from that particular locked room that we haven't got to yet. So, yeah, I'll save that particular topic once we get to Area 3 in mind, so, and of course, we still need to able to capture, you know, certain boos in order to able to progress, so, yeah, you get the idea of how this good turns out to be, so, and, usually, relatively speaking, that was about the fact that, I will still able to try to capture all 50 of those boos, even though it might take a very long time this time around, though, just because of the way they acting like that, when it comes to not only just floating around like crazy, but it's also about the fact that, well, obviously with more HP, or health, to be more specific, so, yeah, this might take a bit while, especially about the fact that, like I said before, Luigi's offense is actually, like, somewhat lesser compared to the forms of how it does it on the normal mansion playthrough, because obviously if you get hit by certain ghosts and also certain attacks for certain ghosts, well, prepare yourselves with a lot of painful moments. So, yeah, that's as far as I can usually describe about it. So, oh wow, that's actually ridiculously fast. So, but hopefully we'll try to capture for about 5 boos in order able to actually access to the washroom. So, anyways though, there's also another difference I can possibly think about it, is that, well, like I said before, it's about the fact that there's actually fewer hearts this time around. So, fewer hearts are available locations that have hearts in a normal mansion do not have them. Likely also, whatever I did manage to able to check out in during the forms of the nursery room, well, suffice to tell you is that you can't necessarily try to get the heart all the time. So because of that, well, I suppose it's about the fact that the locations that have hearts, likely heals your 50 HP, that does exist in during forms of the courtyard by vacuuming the slim bank shots like statue, and rarely in the forms of in foyer when checking the drawer. So yeah, that's as far as I can think about it. So, and in addition to that, is that Speedy Spirits and Gold Mice always drops a blue diamond when caught, and raising the maximum possible amount of money from, let's just say, 142 million, all the way up to 186 million or something like that, because the amount of money requires for an A rank was increased to 150 million gold that you do need to able to reach on the PAL version, which, unlike the NTSC version, is like 100 million. So because of that, yeah, in the NTSC version, which means, this means that the Hidden Mansion is necessary to play through in order to get an A rank in journey forms of the PAL version. So, and there's also another differences as well. That's what appears to be by the forms of, like I said before, when it comes to catching certain boos in this particular mode, normally in the normal mansion playthrough, you're able to actually only require 40 boos in order to able to actually fight the final boss, whilst in the Hidden Mansion playthrough this time, like I said before, it does need to require 45 of them. So it's like, well, hopefully if you managed able to realize, well, good luck for able to try to capturing certain boos, because those boos are gonna get a lot more aggressive, and on top of that, a lot more difficult to catch. So because of that, it will take me about a couple of hours to able to actually capture some of them. And don't even get me started in Journey Forms within Area 4 though, because Area 4 is gonna be super stingy on my part. So, but hopefully I'll try my best if I decide able to actually go for this way. Especially the rewards remains the same. Like if you do manage to able to capture every single boost, Journey Forms of this mode, you're still able to actually guarantee to able to get yourselves your glorious, well, gold diamond. So, yeah, there's not much else explanations for the sake of clarity here. So, anyways, I'm thinking that pretty much does it for now when it comes to capturing certain boos alike. So, even though it looks like we're about to able to go over into the washroom now, so just in case we can able to actually have a chat with Toad and what have you, so we could potentially try to able to actually get ourselves our glorious next key that in order to able to open up in Journey Forms of certain parts throughout. So in some cases, there we go. So. But yeah, not much explanations for the sake of time, I'm afraid, guys. Apart from the fact that in particular points worth noting for is that recently I've somehow finally managed able to get myself yet another cosmetic character in Journey Forms within Mario Kart Tour. I know originally it's about the fact that I decided able to not play Mario Kart Tour anymore, but as it turns out, I still have to play it in order able to wait for Wave 6 to come out for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe in mind. So, yeah, seriously, it's actually gonna get a little bit painful at this point, to me anyway. So, anyways, let's open up this door here and able to actually just to try to find another gold mice in here. So, but before I do that, I need to check those specific drawers. Like, I know for a fact that there's no heart in one of those drawers. So, yeah, we have to deal with the forms of at some point. Some of these hardest aspects in Journey Forms of the Hidden Mansion playthrough, at least as far as I'm concerned. So, but of course, we will able to meet up with the forms of the Fortune Teller Room for, quite a few times at this point in time. Oh wow, we got ourselves a gold bar. That's actually pretty swell. So, yeah, here we are in the mirror room, and this is what I mean about the fact that the mirror room is actually gonna get a little bit more difficult without any sort of elements at all. So because of that, we have to deal with a lot of frustration involved. So, luckily, we've already did manage to max out our health earlier ago. So, yeah, I apologize if my commentary is a little bit wishy-washy at this point today. Well, that's just because there's not much else I can usually talk about this, especially concerning for the fact that, well, that's as far as I can able to actually get a full explanation for the sake of the Forms of the Hidden Mansion mode in the PAL version of how it plays out to be. So, yeah, that's as far as I can think about it. So, anyways, one of the subjects for this matter, though, is about the fact that recently, during the course of about a couple of days ago, actually, there's actually yet another anniversary thing just came out to be. That's what appears to be by the forms of happy 20th anniversary of the game's release of Frogger's Adventures to the Rescue. So, never heard of that game before. Especially because I've never actually played Frogger before. Well, I definitely heard about it, but I've never actually played any of those Frogger games in my whole entire life. Mainly because about the fact that it's not my cup of tea. And on top of that, I'm still pretty much waiting for the final 2 Nintendo Switch games to be arriving. By that time until likely also in November. And in addition to that, though, is about the fact that, oh yeah, let's talk about the forms of the exciting part I would like to discuss upon for you, everybody, is that eventually at some point, that originally, though, we were expected able to actually go ahead and say right now, that originally, though, we were expected able to be preparing for able to go to America for experiencing the Super Nintendo world, and usually originally it was supposed to happen in Journey Forms within October, but as it turns out until next June, specifically in June 2024, that I'm surprised to say that I am definitely going to be going into the Super Nintendo world until next year in June. So, yeah, I'm really excited about this, especially concerning for the fact that I just cannot wait to able to actually experience certain rides for the sake of the forms of Super Nintendo world, with certain attractions every once in a while, ranging from the, the coin key challenges and all that stuff. And on top of that, certain merchandises I was really looking forward to seeing in person. And everything else will be pretty much accounted for when it comes to getting ourselves a lot of hypeness involved when it comes to able to experiencing the Super Nintendo world as the forms the part of the Universal Studios in Hollywood. So it's a shame that I can't utilize that particular fast travel system with that specific mirror. Well, that's okay, because hopefully we will be able to actually move along into the next room as far as I'm usually concerned with. Although, I was expecting to try to go after that particular Speedy Spirit, but maybe at some point whenever we get to Area 3, just because I need to take care of the forms of some tricky stuff here and there, so... But either way, so far we've already captured 7 boos so far. Oh yeah, and every once in a while in Judy forms within Area 2 and onwards, there's now going to be filled to the brim with a lot of mice everywhere. So because of that, sometimes that can be a pain to deal with, especially because, well, if you accidentally run into them, well, obviously you will able to actually lose some bit of your coins. So... anyways, here we are in the laundry room, so now we've actually come across into... oh, really? You see what I mean? It's about the fact that certain cramped rooms is actually going to get a little bit tricky to able to deal with. But it's just about the fact that with the amount of ghosts you're about to encounter with, so it's just about the fact it's pretty tricky, so... But anyway, speaking of which though, is about the fact that one thing I did not expect about the fact that, like I mentioned about this before, is that not only do we able to actually hear some of these new voice actors comes into play for the likes of the Super Mario Bros. Wonder game, which actually as it turns out, that not only Kevin, I can't really know what this last surname was, is usually I do know his name, which appears to be Kevin, that he's currently voicing as not only Mario, but also Luigi as well, and maybe it's a possibility that he's also been voiced for Wario or something like that. Well, it's a bit difficult to tell, because until by that time we've only just got about a couple of days left, until WarioWare Move It is about to be releasing. So, anyways though, and in addition to that, is that, potentially speaking, what I found out is that, like I said before, Daisy also gets us a new voice actor as well, which as a result, she's now being voiced by, Jocelyn, I can't really pronounce her particular last name, I'm afraid. So that's just because about the fact that it's been about quite a few hours ago since I've not only get back into this particular recording session, which also I just want to classify for something. I apologize for my commentary, it's a bit wishy-washy like I said before, but that's just mainly because about the fact that there's not much else explanations I can probably think about it. Although, potentially speaking, I was about the fact that there was actually that one in particular voice actor I was, sort of heard about it. And that's what it appears to be by the forms of her name was. Let's just say, Dawn M. Bennett, which, by the looks of all that stuff though, she's actually voicing Nabbit in Super Mario Bros. Wonder, and as a result, she was also known for, Lilac from the likes of Freedom Planet, and also, female She's in Fire Emblem, so I'm guessing that she loves purple-themed characters after all, so yeah, it's kind of interesting, so, and, yeah, here we are in the Phones of the Hidden Room once again, except now that certain ghost types are a little bit more different this time, because obviously we're not going to be dealing with these Shy Guy looking ghosts, even though it does have its name by the way, but even then though, it's just about the fact I always attempt to call them something very similar characteristic as the forms of Spirit Guys or something, but even then though, like I said before, it's been about quite a few hours ago since I actually have last played this, including Super Mario Bros. Wonder on my own time. Well, that's just mainly because about the fact I'm still currently trying to able to actually go for a full 100% completion before I'm able to actually do that game as a Let's Play until specifically next year, by that time, before that particular time comes. So, of course, that particular Speedy Spirit will come in later. For pretty much without doubt the hardest part about the Phones of the Hidden Mansion mode, which is of course the Blackout segment, which hopefully we'll able to actually try to keep our elements as much as we can this time around though, just to make the entire process a little bit more easier to manage, But either way though, that pretty much takes care of the hidden room. So now we can able to actually obtain not only the sapphire, but also the ruby and an emerald as well. So I don't think we could probably able to actually get that much sapphire or ruby or an emerald this time around though, because I get the strong feeling that the blue diamond is now going to take over when it comes to able to, you know, when if you managed able to capture not only certain speedy spirits, but also with the forms of gold mice as well. So yeah, that begs the question for the fact that we were able to actually guarantee to get even more money. So just to ensure that we will able to guarantee to get the best results. So yeah, that's what I can really say about it. So anyway, so it looks like we're currently on to 9 boos at this point in time. So it looks like we're actually getting pretty darn well as far as progression goes so far. Although, mind you, there might be still some very tricky situations, like I said before. But even then, let's go in and grab this gold bar, just in case. But either way, though, there's not much else explanations I can probably think about this anyway. So, but even then, though. But I will be able to actually discuss upon one last change for the sake of the forms of the only differences between the PAL version of the Hidden Mansion playthrough compared to the NTSC counterparts, until specifically in Area 4, because, well, obviously they're now able to actually add in some more variety of ghosts for the sake of time. Oh, I've never seen this animation before. Although it's actually kind of rare to able to actually see that animation placed. So, which, fun fact though, is about the fact that I was expecting that Capking 74 was expected able to tackle for the Hidden Mansion mode, but he just doesn't feel like it. So because of that, maybe by that time he will able to actually jump right into the second game until in the future time. So, but even then, let's go and light up these candles right here for, of course, the butler thingy right there. So even then, again, it's been a very long while since we've been able to actually experience Area 2 since the beginning portion of the month. So, oh yeah, something worth noting for is about the fact that yes, I did somehow manage able to watch every single of those Treehouse of Horror episodes recently for The Simpsons, and I should probably get to my final thoughts of which one is more of my favorite of those specific segments. I'm sure that most people already know what I was going to be thinking about, is that The Shining is actually without a doubt the best segment in terms of the Treehouse of Horror episodes. So, but then again though, I'll get to my top 10 best segments I've ever seen for the likes of The Simpsons, the Treehouse of Horror episodes I've ever seen. But even then, let's go and get rid of these little pests, including, well, Butler himself, even though, again, it's been a very long while since we actually deal with him. So, anyway, so that pretty much takes care of this particular room. So, and of course, we still need to able to take care of the forms of melody now. So, we're able to grab the key. If the key doesn't stop bouncing most of the time after getting jumped out of the chests. So, either way, so now we can able to actually go ahead and take care of Melody now. But before I do that, I need to capture the next boo, specifically the 10th boo. Although I was expecting to try to able to go after the next couple of boos, but at the moment right now, I'm currently just trying to able to... Ooh, some more cash. How about that? Oh, darn, he's now onto the hidden room. That never happened to me before. Well, that again though, just because they behave a lot more differently this time, because obviously they move a lot faster than the forms of how it does it on the normal mode. So, but relatively speaking, I was about the fact that I think going from Butler's room all the way up to the hidden room can sometimes feel a bit tedious at points, especially concerning for the fact that, well, if you jump from next room to the other, well, you wasted for about a few seconds in order to able to catch that particular boo. So, but luckily though, we've already did manage to accomplish that after all. So even then, only roughly 35 more to go until we're able to actually access the final boss of the game. So, whilst we've only got 40 of them left until we get ourselves our glorious gold diamond. So of course, when it comes to able to getting the golden diamond, is that you still need able to water that specific plant for about 3 times, 1 time in Area 2, and 1 time in Area 3, and vice versa for Area 4, so nothing different from here. So because of that, yeah, let's just, okay, I honestly have no idea why I keep on checking into the nursery sometimes, because I keep thinking about, the normal mansion playthrough, just because obviously the hearts still exist, during the forms of the nursery room, so... But either way, I suppose Baker cells can be choosers, I guess. So I suppose for the time being, we'll have to able to stick around with this particular chest of drawers right here, if you couldn't tell. So, anyway, so now we've saved the game, just in case I don't want to get the actual good night screen on this particular playthrough. Although, by that time, whenever we get to Luigi's Mansion 2 and 3, I think there might be some tricky scenarios from time to time, and oh goody, we got ourselves a yet another gold mice. So, how's that? So hopefully we were able to actually get... I'm not exactly sure how many blue diamonds we can probably be able to come across into in this mode, but hopefully by that time we were able to actually discuss more about it, until whenever we're able to get into exactly the Halloween day. So, and I could imagine about the fact that if we decided able to finish this entire playthrough of Luigi's Mansion, or the entire Let's Play of this entire game, during around that time when Halloween is about to start, well, that could be the perfect opportunity to able to actually accomplish something like this. So, anyways though, so now we've taken care of the forms of that particular gold mice, as we've already encountered. So now we can able to actually go into the conservatory room while we're trying to dodge those explosion ghosts, if you couldn't tell. And hopefully we can now able to actually play this good old overworld theme from the Super Mario Bros. Game all over again. So, anyways though, before we do with all that, I need to grab some more money notes, as to be expected. And then just try to check in that particular cupboard there, which obviously contains some even more cash into its disposal. So, yeah, everything else will be pretty much all settled for that particular point worth noting for, so... And oh boy, I'm actually, quite nervous about journey forms of that particular playthrough in mind, because like I said before, there might be a couple of times that, certain rooms will get a little bit tricky to able to deal with, especially there's like, different types of ghosts to encounter, so... Here's Melody once again, and I think she's probably going to be playing a different theme here. And it actually turns out it was from Super Mario Bros. 3. Yeah, it's definitely Super Mario Bros. 3 after all, so yeah, it's definitely that. Not Mario Bros, not Super Mario World, it's just Super Mario Bros. 3. So, anyway, so let's go ahead and get rid of those, music sheets, so just in case we can able to actually just, well, sanction her, so we can pretty much guarantee we can able to guarantee to get, of course, another big pearl, like we just did, so... Anyway, so now we've actually done with that, and now we're just gonna have to able to grab certain pearls. I think, some people seem to say that there was actually not only 1, but 8 different ranks you can able to actually achieve, depending on how well you did throughout the majority of the game, which I suppose I should probably save that particular topic until likely whenever we get to Area 3 or something like that, because obviously about the fact that I'm relieved that we've almost done Area 2 already, so because of that, and if you couldn't tell already, yes, I did somehow skip the actual scenes where if we open up the door with the key, because obviously they play out exactly the same, so because of that, yeah, let's just go and obtain the key, and then we can able to actually access to the dining room, which not only does it contain yet another speedy spirit, but also we'll be back for the conservatory room for the blackouts for one of those speedy spirits. So, for the sake of the forms of, you know, the blackout parts, including the nursery as well. So, but like I said before, it's about the fact that hopefully by that time, I will definitely get able to try to utilize, you know what I'm saying with the forms of the fire element, so just in case it'll make the entire process a bit easier. So, well, it's definitely not going to be easy though, that's for sure, just because of all the strangler ghosts that I'm not exactly a huge fond of, especially because, well, I just got nothing to say, so... Anyway, so let's just go ahead and get rid of those banana peels or banana skins before we're able to find yet another speedy spirit. So even though let's just go ahead and capture him, so we can able to actually get yet another blue diamond from here. So yeah, I'm very excited about the forms of next year's holiday, I have to be quite frank here, because obviously I'm really looking forward to able to try out not just by the forms of the Super Nintendo world, but maybe some other places as well, like Hogwarts, or let's just say The Simpsons, and all that stuff. I mean, sure, it will be a very interesting experience in my part, especially I've never actually been to America before, so but at least I'm pretty excited because the forms of experiencing the Super Nintendo world, like I stated this before. So, anyways, let's go ahead and scan this cheese and obtain the gold mice. So, there we go. Wow, we're literally on the 8th blue diamond so far. So yeah, that's actually pretty successful on my part. Especially because, like I said before, that we will be able to actually get even more blue diamonds than the forms of how it does on the normal mansion playthrough, where I think you can only carry up to like 5 regular blue diamonds as far as I'm concerned, because obviously about the fact that we obviously keep on collecting not only rubies but also sapphires and emeralds for the sake of the forms of the normal mansion playthrough. So it feels like a complete opposite this time, at least I was thinking so anyway. So anyway, so let's go ahead and grab yet another heart, just in case we can able to heal ourselves from here. So, either way though, I think what I'm gonna do... Oh jeez, that was close. I almost gonna get hit by these specific blue mices here, so... Yeah, what I'm gonna do is about the fact that... Actually, kind of thinking about it though, let me just go ahead and end off the video during the forms of this specific part right here, because I will definitely gonna have to able to finish up everything in Area 2. As soon as we're able to actually deal with other things worth noting for. So because of that, yeah, we should probably end things off this point right here. So join me next time for more of Let's Play of Luigi's Mansion for the Nintendo GameCube / Nintendo 3DS. Instead, we're finishing up with Area 2 in a Hidden Mansion. So I'll see you guys tomorrow.